Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. I admit that I have heard this song already, just once when it was first released because I simply could not wait. And I knew the moment that I started listening to it that I was going to do a deep dive analysis. So I've given it a couple of weeks to let my ears clear out so it'll feel somewhat fresh, I hope. Let's get to it. Wow. So, immediately, I love the way that this is set up as not just a single. It's not just a song. This is a whole film, a short film, but it is a film. It's so beautifully set. It feels more like a soundtrack initially, especially because we get so many sound effects. It reminds me a little bit of how Metallica tends to weave different sounds into their compositions. I want to go back. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the cinematic setup. Don't close your eyes. Right. Immediately we just have the sound of weather first. And of course, a super incredible church organ. It's heavy, throbbing with anticipation. And I love it when we bring full choir into metal. So 41 seconds in here. I would not say that this is a metal song yet. It just feels like epic cinema. It's really exciting. Oh man. I love it when metal bands bring these elements together. It's like, I feel that metal as a genre is just so unlimited. It's like, what do you want to do? Go do it. I love that. And this band is wildly creative. I love that. Alissa is wildly creative, especially with her sounds. Beautiful setting. I love that. Wow. I love how the moment we get into this, it just feels like we're blasted away. It almost feels like I should have wind just blowing in my face because of all the sound that is slamming into my ears right now. And I love that this incredible, like, beastly vocalization is coming from Alissa. I've gotten to know Alissa a little bit, and she is so sweet. She's so nice. She's just such a considerate human being, and she has so many principles too. It's amazing. I love the way there's this perception of metalheads that people have, and then I think the moment that you actually get to know metalheads, they just completely break that. Maybe people think, oh, the music is aggressive. It's so heavy. And then you have this exact opposite. Like, the people are just so nice and pleasant and fluffy. I love this. And I think Alissa is just one of those people that represents metal in so many ways so brilliantly. Let's go back and talk about her vocals. I love her. I think that's the very first one there. It's such a great entrance. I'm so curious how she's making that sound. Alissa is one of the females that's been doing this the longest. I've really paid attention to who's in the scene, who's been having more longevity, and whose careers are just starting to explode too. And Alissa has been doing this for a long time. I love the complexity of this sound that just came out. I've done a lot of thinking about what I think makes a harsh vocal good. And to me, it's that there's consistency and complexity. Those two things are very, very important. Yeah, like when I think about where the sound source is in that, it sounds like there's multiple ones in the larynx being activated, but we would have to do a lot of procedures to really understand which ones were going on here. I love the way that we got set up with the cinematic feel at the beginning, and things just were moving a little more slowly. The moment that this enters into the music, everything is so much faster, right? And it feels like all of the scenes are somehow more dramatic, more tense. It's fascinating, right? It took one scene and then shifted it. Just want to point out, when she first starts that sound, it almost sounds like her mouth is closed. It's a growl. So up until this point in this verse, I was struggling to figure out if she had a couple of layers there or if that is just one sound. I think she has a couple of layers, but it's very complex, AKA in my book, I think that's very good. I love the way there's both a deeper sound overall and a higher sound in there. It makes me wonder if it's false folds and an upper structure that's going. I'm not sure. And once we hit this, we definitely have multiple layers, and they're fantastic. Oh, shout out to the entire video crew and just the entire idea of this. Lyrics, everything. This feels like dark fantasy in the best of ways. Right? It's so misty that it sometimes feels like we're in the Upside Down, if you know that reference from Stranger Things. Dream Stealer is, I loved reading through the lyrics of this, by the way, especially like listening to it initially. It's fascinating. And you feel like, yeah, oh my gosh, I do feel like something's haunting my dreams here with the video, everything that's put together. Just it all went together in a brilliant overall impact. I like the shift in the groove there. Gosh, she's so dynamic with her vocals. I mean, not just loud or soft, but how she is moving between so many different sounds here, right? We've got some clean singing, we've got some vocals that are actual pitch in there instead of a pitch center, but she's also taking, whenever there's a pitch center with the harshness, she's like moving it around a ton. More. Wow. I'm so excited because Alissa's agreed to be a part of some vocal research that we are funding with the Charismatic Voice Research Fund. And she, especially with all of her experience, one of the things I'm most excited about is getting to just sit down with her and ask her about how she categorizes her sounds, because there are so many sounds in here and people talk about their sounds in so many different ways. I've talked with Alissa a little bit about this, and she has some of the most thoughtful responses. I mean, like, she's an incredible, incredible woman. Wow, through and through. But I think as this art form, and especially as these vocal distortions, as sometimes we'll call them, or gutturals or screams, right? People have different names for them. As they become more accepted, I think it's important that we find some common terminology that people can agree on, and maybe have some really thoughtful responses from artists behind what they're doing so that we can understand how it's being used and maybe pick the right terms. She's so good at explaining how she thinks about things. And additionally, I can hear in her different sounds, there are different sources here, and she's using them in such a big variety of ways. I really look forward to digging more into how she creates these sounds. And it's not just so we know how she makes awesome, amazing sounds. I mean, that's enough for me already. But I think the research that we're doing, it's going to have a much, much broader impact. It will pave the way for future music therapy that's based on upper laryngeal structures, can help people who have lost their voice be able to use an upper laryngeal structure maybe to speak and communicate. There's already been some study done on that with the false vocal folds. There's so many amazing outcomes, and gosh, I'm just so excited to hear about how she thinks of these sounds. It's going to be amazing. Let's go back and appreciate like all of the different kinds of sounds she made just in this last part. Like the way she made it suddenly way deeper. It's like she's code switching between different types of harsh vocals in there. I think the layering that she's using with the pitch in different types of harshes and what I think is a chorus here, it's just so tasteful, right? It's sophisticated. It's really enjoyable. There's a lot more I like about it. We'll keep going though. It's heavy. Wow, that was a good high vocal. Oh man. So when we've seen vocals that are like this, and really we've seen this so few times. When Will Ramos, who's the most studied metal vocalist at this point, and that's all because of collaborations with the University of Utah and the Charismatic Voice. So yay, amazing research team there. When we looked at his throat when he was making a sound like this, it was a very high constriction, right? Lower constriction would be like your false folds. This one was very high, had a lot of epiglottis helping with that constriction as well. It's just fascinating. We saw in his throat different pieces of anatomy helping in sound production that we never expected would help. However, he's a dude. Like, I love that. It's so interesting to me that harsh vocals, the high parts, are actually associated with just being more female. Like, dudes can do them too. I'm really curious how male and female anatomy would compare here. Are females more able to reach high, harsh vocals? I don't know. I don't know that there's really that much similarity, because it might be rather like how tight that area can be squeezed. We don't know. I just think it's fascinating to me, and that was a really cool high. Oh, what a cool takeover of the guitar. That's actually a really great example of layering lows and highs there. And I don't know how Alissa makes her lows and highs. Sometimes I think you can extend the lips to create more deep resonance, and sometimes you can shift the source. And so I don't know which one she's doing here, but I really think the layering is tasteful. I hear both very clearly. Right here. Oh, and the spaciousness is so awesome too. Nice. So at this point, we've come back essentially to this chorus, which is going to feel like the most sticky part of the song. But there are a lot of elements of the song that feel progressive to me, meaning they don't really follow like an A, B, A, B, A, B kind of pattern, or A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. However, we are returning to a spot that is familiar. I'm curious, actually, what the overall structure of this song is. Again, I've only listened once, so, in taking it in once, I was just like, wow, right? That's the first, when it's just for me, I'm just like, I'll sit down and be like, yeah, just let it play all the way through and go. Deep dives, I like lots and lots of pausing, because then I get to generate more questions and wonder about the song. What's the structure here? Like, how is this put together? And how does that support the story? I know reading through the lyrics, there was a beautiful progression there. I'm curious. Whoop. Wow. It's so cool how she uses her voice in there. There's one part that almost sounds like high-pitched screaming, which I associate with having more true vocal fold activation. And there's one part that just sounds more like what people sometimes will call a fry scream, and I'll just associate that usually with upper constriction. I have a bit of a conundrum when describing fry screams. I think fry scream is probably the most common term for what we see as upper constriction in the vocal tract, which isn't a bad thing. Like, just singing, that is your vocal folds coming together. Like, there's constricting that's happening, and the vocal folds are coming together, and they're going wacka, wacka, wacka very, very quickly, like usually at least a couple hundred times per second. And then when we talk about the structures above coming together, the rates are still totally like up in the air. We need to know a lot more about the rates of things coming together. I like to say smacka, smacka, smacka when I'm talking about the upper laryngeal structures, because they don't really make a pitch. Instead, they create like a noise center, high, low, what have you. And when that noise center is a little bit higher, and we're seeing constriction in the throat that's a little bit higher, then a lot of people will call that a fry scream. Again, still working on terminology. The reason I have a problem with this particular name is because there are different things already in vocal pedagogy that are called fry. There's the vocal fry like this when you talk like a valley girl. And there's also fry register. Sometimes it's called pulse register. And that is when the vocal folds are going wacka, wacka, wacka so slowly that we actually can perceive the air between the connection of the vocal folds. So it has like a fryish kind of sound. So a fry scream, ooh, I don't really love the idea of attributing another thing the same name. But that being said, most people are understanding that as what it is right now. So she has an incredible fry scream. Can we say that right now? Can we say that? Okay, yeah, we can. Like that. I love that dip in the pitch center. Oh, that's creepy. Let's listen to that moment like 5 more times, okay? Wow. Wow, there's like a hollowness in that scream. There's so much pain in it. There's terror in it. Wow. There's a way that she hooks into that. You hear this establishment like of this support system right as she's hooking in. One more time. Did you hear like almost a little cry as she's launching into that scream? Okay, one more time. Last time, I swear. Wow. Wow. I love how we have this like just soaring melody take over there. And I think after that incredible scream, I also needed a little bit more space to sort of reset. So good planning. That definitely needed a reset before this. Insane. It's moments like that where I really think about this incredible crossover between metal and classical. I see a way that we're weaving in technical virtuosity into metal, and it feels so similar to the same virtuosity I've seen in classical music. I always feel like you have some sort of violin concerto that's happening when I see guitar players' fingers just moving across like this. It's amazing. I love how many people I've met within metal community that have also come from classical. It's a beautiful crossover, and it actually makes sense. Some sort of weird sense. It makes sense, though. Wow. Beautiful slide down in her vocals there at the end. Did you catch that? Literally on the word down, I think. Or dim. Ooh, that's right. I'd forgotten about the short cutoff on the end. Oh, that's right. It comes at night. Beautiful. I am so into this new single from Arch Enemy. It is an incredible ride, and I hope that you will go and listen to the song all the way through on their channel. It is a totally different experience without my interruptions. And if you want to see some more analysis of artists that we are featuring in upcoming vocal research, check out this playlist over here. You'll also find ways there that you can help support upcoming vocal research. May you fall more in love with music every day.